And then you
There
get
wasn't a relatively big patch. I can't remember. I don't know if it was Plattsburgh. Altus had a giant patch. I mean, my God, it was huge for the 577s. And I forget some of the other ones, if it was the 551st.
Speaking of 7th, I'm going to go into the 7th Walker site right here. Not much on Plattsburgh. I see the doors open.
Well, I mean, 7 is up on the old, here in Walker. It was the Hagerman site outside the little community of Hagerman, New Mexico.
Right.
You know, it was Ray Bell at the time. He owned the bulk plant here, and he bought that, and he had big storage tanks. You'll see those. They're all gone now. They've salvaged all that. But at one point, that's where he was storing a lot of gasoline, right? You'd see Pecos Valley refining on some of those exterior pictures.
Mm-hmm.
And Site 7, one of the caretaker's sons called me up, 2000, Josh was his name. And he called me up and he says, "Hey, Gary, my dad works for Ray Bell and da-da-da-da, and look, you want to go out and see the site?" I'm like, I'm all in, right? Sure. I had been there inside since I was a kid. And under the lower level floor, they used to have oodles, just tons and tons of pieces of the old technical orders, the tech library. And so when I got down there with him, I said, okay, if I can gather this up until I got boxes of all of these documents, right? And I mean, it was just amazing, some of the stuff that I got out of there. And I thought it was a pretty decent site. I don't know. It was the one site out of all 12 of our sites they would not allow us to do any of the environmental testing on. So you be the judge of why.
Well, I mean, what was the LCC? Was the LCC fucked? I mean, was it beat out like most of the other ones?
I mean, it was in relatively excellent shape.
Damn.
Oh, really? I mean, it truly was. I mean, what a beautiful site. I mean, when I was a cadet, they had an old caretaker that lived in a mobile trailer, really, on one of the old Quonset hut pads very near the highway, okay, adjacent to the access road into the site. And, you know, when we'd go by and see it, we'd stop and talk to him. And, you know, the old man would tell us, you know, he's here to keep people out of the site. And he got to keep his trailer there for free. And no, you kids, you're going to come out here, and even though we're cadets, you know, no, you kids are going to come out here and get killed, and, you know, you know, we kind of laughed, and we wouldn't say anything, and we'd still sneak in it, right? And we just wait till the wind was blowing to the south because the dogs couldn't pick up our scent. And we go, you know, we go around the back way into it and jump the fence and, you know, get in and go take pictures and come back out. But I just remember, and again, I can't find those photographs.
Damn. Yeah, they're not on Siloworld.
No, and same thing for Site 8 at Lake Arthur.
We're getting there.
I mean, it's just... I mean, I look back on some of those, not that, I mean, Site 8 had no structure. Silo was full of water. That had been one of the sites that the feds never sold at government auction because it was given to the Department of Human Resources. And they gave it to the community, the village of Lake Arthur, for its water wells.
Right.
And so the little village of Lake Arthur gets all of their community water from Site 8.
Oh, yeah.
And, you know, which to me is, you know, that's a good way to utilize the water. I mean,
yeah.
You know.
Before you get too much into Site 8, like on the aerials, it looks like there's another double tank, like on Site 2, I think. Double big tank up top
Yeah,
side.
next to where the water treatment facility was. It's where the community was storing water, and they did that for years. And
but like the traditional Atlas F water treatment facility was like a 10 by 10 shed, steel shed, right?
Well, some of them are bigger. I mean, the one at 4, I think the one at site 4 is like 20 by 30. Okay. Yeah. It is the same as site 12's, as site 11's, I think site 7's. Now, what's different with 7 is it had the big discharge tank. Okay. There's only 2 sites that has that giant tank base. Site 7 and site 9. And why? I do not know. Unless it was because the water was so mineralized, so hard, that they needed to do extensive, demineralizing with the water treatment.
I get that. Why in the hell was the building so much bigger? I mean, the tanks.
Right, really, I know. That is the one area that's a real mystery, is water treatment facilities. Even when you ask the launch crews, none of the guys, the water treatment facilities was operated not by the 579th, but by the engineering squadron of the wing. Huh. Okay. And at Walker, that would have been the 6th engineering squadron.
What do you think the average size of a water treatment plant was from Plattsburgh to Walker? Probably 10 by 10?
Well, you had, this is where it gets really screwy. I mean, if you go to Altus, you'll see these tiny little structures.
10 by 10.
And they're where the well was, okay? And then they had this kind of a concrete tub-looking thing built into a corner of it. And I still don't know how it works. I mean, David Johnson's got one up. I mean, you'll see them at the 551st at the Lincoln sites. I mean, we didn't have them at Walker. I mean,
maybe the concrete was for just if it overflowed to hold it in there. I don't know.
I mean, maybe. I mean, but they didn't even have, I mean, they didn't run it through any type of separate. I don't know how. I mean, we have got reinforced bases offset with separate foundations in Site 4's water treatment facility. I mean, those were for big pumps and motors.
Yes,
I mean, huge. I've never even seen a operational photograph of one. So I don't know. I've seen what the tanks look like on the outside, on the bases. And then when you go to Site 10, Site 10 one had one that was completely different, half the size, two small tanks, one small tank, and then it even had a little well house. It was the only one like it of all 12 of the 579 sites. I don't know.
We'll get to 20. It's really weird that they vary like that.
Well, I mean, I can tell you this. Even though the unitary prints for Atlas F were done by Bechtel Engineering, okay, and Bechtel is still around today. I mean, this is a major, major American corporation. A lot of the site-specific prints were not done by Bechtel. They were farmed out. And, for example, the septic tanks, okay, and the drain fields, if you look at all the Walker sites, they're all in a different location. Site 5's, 4's is not like Site 3's. They're totally different. I mean, obviously they had to get the ground to perk, or the drain field method wasn't going to work.
Right.
If you compared that, like, for example, to 577-2, the Hobart site with David Johnson, I mean, I am convinced that his water table was so high that they couldn't get the ground to perk. It was an elevated septic tank system.
Yeah, why the hell
they brought it and filled and raised it?
Yeah, why the hell they would build there, I don't know.
I mean, that's a really good question. And, of course, these are the ones I'm terribly afraid of, Bryce. I'm never going to get the answers for.
Same thing with
Plattsburgh. The way we're all going, I'm never going to get the answer.
Same thing with Plattsburgh.
I don't think I'm going to come across this miraculous book. It's going to just, oh, Gary, here's the answer to all your questions.
Yeah.
I don't think that's going to happen. I mean, I wish it would, but I don't think so.